The Rafale reinterprets what a larger Renault model should be. This D-segment coupe SUV brings style and ingenuity to the business of tempting customers away from premium badged alternatives. It's a tough brief, but this Gallic contender has some genuinely interesting touches. Every Rafale uses a 1.2 litre 3-cylinder petrol engine, but this unit comes in two very different flavours. Most models will be sold in full hybrid form, which sees a single 68 horsepower motor driving the front wheels. It sits between the engine and the car's 6-speed auto gearbox, made up of 4 conventional gears with 2 further electric gears. There's also another E-motor with 33 horsepower, but that's there to act as a generator, helping the petrol unit when needed. The drivetrain incorporates a tiny 2 kilowatt-hour battery beneath the driver's seat that allows for very short-range electric driving. And total system output is 200 horsepower, with the engine chiming in 62 miles an hour from rest takes 8.9 seconds. There's a choice of 4 multi-sense driving modes: Eco, Comfort, Sport and Personal. And if you avoid base trim, Renault will include its 4Control 4-wheel steering system, which, in return for an extra 7 kilograms of curb weight, gives the Rafale a tight 10.4 metre turning circle at low speeds and is supposed to improve cornering stability at speeds of up to 31 miles an hour. If you want your Rafale in the hyper-hybrid 4x4 300 horsepower flagship plug-in hybrid form that is being served up here, you get quite a technical CV. This PHEV model uses basically the same drivetrain as the ordinary hybrid Rafale, but adds a turbocharger to the little 1.2 litre engine and pairs the front motor with an extra 132 horsepower electric motor at the rear, so creating the advertised 4x4 system. With all these components added together, there's 300 horsepower. And the drivetrain works with a vastly bigger 22 kilowatt-hour battery pack that you can plug and charge, enough when fully replenished for the car to run on pure battery power for commuting distances of up to 62 miles. When you're feeling frugal, you can exercise 3 EV mode settings: hybrid, electric and e-save. And when you're not, with the engine chiming in 62 miles an hour from rest in this hyper-hybrid takes 6.4 seconds. There's an extra multi-sense driving mode too, Snow. Here we're trying the Rafale hyper-hybrid 4x4 300 horsepower model in its top Atelier form, in which guise it gains specific Alpine tuning for the anti-roll bars, the shock absorbers and the springs, and chassis control, which allows you to adjust the parameters of the car's 4Control 4-wheel steering system via 3 settings: Comfort, Dynamic and Sport. This Atelier model is the only Rafale that comes fitted with adaptive damping. Renault calls it active suspension. 10 engineers apparently spent 3 years developing it, and sure enough, there's real polish to the way this car handles. Obviously, not being able to plug the mainstream full hybrid E-Tech version of this Rafale in means it's not going to go very far on battery power. The 2 kilowatt-hour pack in question is, like most full hybrids, there to cut in and out at low to medium speeds, and obviously does a pretty good job, because the combined fuel cycle figure, up to 58.9 miles to the gallon, is pretty noteworthy, allowing for up to 683 miles of driving range. The CO2 reading, up to 108 grams per kilometre, is even better, nearly class leading in fact. If you are looking at this hyper-hybrid 4x4 300 horsepower PHEV model, then up to 65 miles of EV range is possible after charging the 22 kilowatt-hour battery, which from a typical 7.4 kilowatt garage wall box takes 2 hours 55 minutes for a full charge. CO2 returns are rated at up to 12 grams per kilometre when the full battery range is used, but it's 132 grams per kilometre with an empty battery. Fuel returns for the Techno Esprit Alpine version of this hyper-hybrid model are rated at up to 564.9 miles to the gallon on the combined cycle with the battery fully charged, and the car manages up to 48.7 miles to the gallon when just running on its petrol engine. Forget the really large Renault models you might have grown up with. This is a modestly proportioned segment contender based on a lengthier version of the brand's usual CMF-CD platform. The Rafale is 4,710mm long, 1,860mm wide and 1,610mm tall, though the curved roofline makes it look a little more compact than that, and 17 degrees of windscreen rake adds a sporty touch. The first thing you'll probably notice though is this unique front grille, fabricated from angled tiles shaped like the Renault badge, which usually seem to move as you view them from differing angles. Almost equally eye-catching is the headlamp signature with its boomerang-shaped daytime running lights. Time to take a look inside. Where Renault still hasn't quite succeeded in creating a really premium feeling cabin, but it's a step up from the Austral model interior it's based on, thanks to some extra soft touch surfaces and the use of some quite surprising materials like slate and blackened cork. The enveloping seats are bespoke and quite unique with illuminated elements, and of course there's plenty of screen tech with a 12.3-inch instrument display and a 12-inch central screen which runs Google designed software. The swept back roofline suggests it might be a little cramped in the rear of this car. Let's take a look. Actually, headroom's not too bad, helped by this solar bay glass roof if it's been fitted to your chosen variant, which improves headroom here in the back by 10mm. As a result, there's up to 890mm of headspace, so even 6-foot adults should have space to spare. Thanks to this model's quite lengthy 2.74-metre wheelbase, there's plenty of legroom too, and there's 302mm of rear seat knee radius. We'll finish with a look at the luggage area, which will be accessed via this powered tailgate, provided you avoid base trim. Boot space is rated at 627 litres for the full hybrid, with an extra 88 litres of underfloor space. With this PHEV model, boot space is rated at 539 litres and there's no underfloor room, which is a problem because the charging leads take up plenty of boot space. With the rear bench folded, the full hybrid offers 1,914 litres, including the underfloor space. With this PHEV variant, the seats fold to reveal up to 1,826 litres. You can't imagine that too many premium brand segment customers are going to throw away their enamel badged key fob to own a Rafale. The few, though, that take a look at what this bigger Renault has to offer might find lots to like here. The looks will get the neighbours talking, the cabin materials are lovely, and the rear seat ambience is far nicer and more spacious than the premium brand norm. There are also things here that you can't get on competitors, like four-wheel steering and the vast solar bay panoramic roof. Previously, none of this would have been enough to overcome customer badge snobbery, but in this more enlightened, electrified era, things might be different. Renault is hoping so.